90% of the battle is won through the title and thumbnail. And if you don't have that, you don't have anything else, because number one rule of YouTube is if they don't click, they don't watch.
On cam ready in 3, 2, 1.
This is Unknown to Known. I'm Jamie Maglietta. Thanks so much for being here. Today we are talking about the audio space and YouTube with expert Gerald Davis. He has a podcasting company and he's going to get into that a little bit. He'll share more about what he does. But he and I will co-host meetups in Atlanta for the podcasting community. Some of them have been sponsored by Riverside FM. Shout out to Riverside. I want to get quickly to this conversation because it's a long one filled with tips and tricks to help you navigate this new media space. Let's get to it. I'm so glad you could be here, Gerald.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here too.
And I am recording this on my new Shure mic. I haven't had one. What do you use?
I use the Rode. First of all, let me say, shout out to Rode. Second of all, these are the stupidest mic names. I'm using the Rode Procaster microphone that's going through the Rodecaster Pro.
Nice.
Like who was the guys in marketing who said, "Hey, let's name the mic the Procaster and let's name the audio interface the Rodecaster."
It's
so,
rough. I mean, I just got this Shure and it's glowing, and I'm not sure I like this alien look. It's like, see, as I talk, it's like. So I don't know.
It's a visual hook.
I may go back to my ATR that I just took off to do this interview. But I am really glad you could be here. You've had a wonderful career in podcasting, and I was hoping you could just tell us a little bit more about what you do and who you are.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, you're very kind, Jamie. Thank you so much. Well, my name is Gerald Davis. For everybody who doesn't know me, who's watching or listening, which we'll probably get into. But my name is Gerald Davis. I got a wife. I got 3 girls. I got a female cat. So it's fun in my household. I do a couple of different things. I'm a full-time content creator. I used to say that I'm a full-time podcaster. I am not a full-time podcaster. I'm a full-time content creator, and maybe we can get into that as well. But I do a couple of different things. I own a podcast production company. Well, a content production company.
You got to start, yeah.
Yeah. It's a force of habit. Content production company is called Dream to Dream Media, where our dream is to make your dream come true. So we do shorts, we do podcasts, all at a very high level, make you look like a star that you are. I also have my own podcast called Lunch with the Cool Kids, where I'm not the cool kid. You are.
I am.
You are the cool kid. And the very, very, very short version of it is that I don't know if you or any of your listeners were popular in high school, but in high school there was always in the cafeteria there was like the cool kids table and then everybody else, and a lot of people spent a lot of their time and even going into their adulthood trying to get at the cool kids table,
Oh,
get their approval.
were
And
you trying to get to the cool kids table?
trying to get to the cool kids table, and maybe they were at work maybe their boss or maybe that certain group of people, maybe they were the cool kids. Whatever your version of the cool kids were, at some point I realized that I don't have to get the approval of the cool kids. I can be the cool kids.
You are the cool kid.
I am the cool kids, and so are my listeners. So that's why we say, I'm not the cool kid, you are. And our podcast is where we're all sitting at the cool table and having those cool discussions. So, so far, so good. And I think I do something else, but it doesn't matter right now.
But you've been leveling up your production too for this show.
Thank you.
I mean that we got to get into some of those tips. Now, guys, I was starting off with the mics because mics and lights, it all is going to help you if you are turning your audio podcast into a video first kind of podcast. You really want to think about it that way. As a creator, you want to be showing up on camera. So you do need to know, like, what mic should I get? What light should I get? So we'll try to bring up some other suggestions as we go. I mean, I'll just say this now. I use Newer for my lights. Like, do you use all Rode for everything?
No, okay. So I'm going to give a little bit of backstory and then answer your question if you'll permit. So,
Yes, sir.
um, before podcast production, I started out in videography. So
Mhm.
when I moved over to podcast, I had like 95% of the stuff. So when people look at my stuff like, "Oh my god, it looks so good," this and that, and then don't you no.
Like, I got this.
Yeah, I
I
had
am the
like a
cool kid.
7-year no, I had like a 7-year head start.
Mhm,
So you know,
mhm.
it's not the same path. The stuff that I use, I wouldn't suggest.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, because you wanna keep it simple.
you wanna keep it simple because the the point, the the biggest the most important thing, I'll say it this way, the
Yeah.
most important thing for any of your journey is convenience.
Mhm,
It's not quality, it's convenience. Because you could have I just pulled this random camera out here. You can have this camera,
mhm.
and this camera is amazing, and it's great. If you don't know how to use it and it intimidates you, and every time you turn it on, you have a panic attack, then y'all, our willpower, I think sometimes we think that willpower is an infinite source. It's
Mhm,
not. Willpower is a finite source, and you may have a little bit of it, you may have a lot of it, but either way it goes, it's gonna run out. So if every time that you have to turn a camera on or plug up a light or put up if it gives you anxiety, eventually you're gonna quit.
yeah, and that's what I keep telling people. I do have an Amazon storefront link where I put all the stuff that I recommend because it's all consumer-based products. Like, I'm not using really extremely high-end gear. Now, I did just, take my ATR off for the first time since 2022, and I'm trying out Shure.
Congratulations.
Now, Amazon said if I wanted to keep it, they were gonna discount me because I complained that the stand was too tall. So they did. So now I got this mic. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'm keeping it." But, you have to do what you have to get what you can to look as good as you can on camera. It doesn't have to be a fortune. And that's really good that bring that point up. You've been doing it a while, and you also can't compare yourself to others when you're getting into this business because they may be so much further ahead than you, and you're gonna start at a different point than they are. Now, I really want to focus on podcasting with you because you have some great clients and a wonderful community. Just so you guys all know, Gerald and we collaborate on some meetups in Atlanta. We've had some panel discussions. So if you're listening and you're in Atlanta, look out for those and join us. We have had Riverside as a partner to help us collaborate and get more people excited about podcasting.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Ringside.
go ahead, and Riverside too, like, we shout out to Riverside for that. But tell us, like, how did you get started with the Facebook group and the community and podcasting bring us back to what led to that and your thoughts on the audio space we'll get to after.
So I think I've always been a doer, and like the actual art of doing stuff has never been that big of an issue to me. And I thought that was normal until I got into the world and realized that, man, actually thinking of an idea and doing stuff, that's not a connection that a lot of people made.
Mhm.
So I like, oh, that's cool. Having said that, I've always been a doer. So a lot of people that I've been working with clients wise, just consulting wise, and just being a good friend to people, a lot of people have failed and will fail and have quit and will quit, not because they're not talented or not because they don't have a good idea. They probably
Yeah.
have best ideas, but the issue is that they don't have the proper execution or they don't have a good person to help them go along the way. I was just having this conversation with my wife, and the key to life is our coaches.
Mm.
Michael Jordan, the best player in the world, coach. He had a coach, Phil Jackson, and once he got right with the right coach, he started winning. So, and there was a lot of people in my area that was just kind of losing because they were like, "Oh man, well if I spend $3,000 on the camera and $2,000 on the lens and $400 on the microphone, then okay, now I'm an official podcaster." and then they get 3 episodes and like, yeah, this ain't working.
Mhm.
There the disconnect. So I
Yeah.
kind of built a community type of deal just to do some of the things that hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about to
Mhm.
have a good chance of success. And then it was just kind of like, hey, let's just kind of get in person because we are all, uh, whoever you're listening, well, whoever's listening, I'm gonna look,
Mhm.
I'm gonna look, and I'm gonna talk to you, and I'm gonna say that we're all like nomads and gnomes and like gargoyles in community space. What we do is we'll like, especially if we do a lot of virtual stuff, we'll sit in our dark lit offices and we'll have
Mhm.
conversations over the screen, and then we'll edit on our computer, and
Mhm.
then we'll be on social media trying to pump it, and then we'll do the whole thing over again. We're all in these little caves and we don't
Yeah.
touch grass. So I was like, oh man, it would be cool if there was a place where all of us little nomads could come out and be weird together in the space.
Yeah.
Um, and it's been working out, and it's been working out good so far. So that's what podcasting pathways are, and plus just kind of help with the rules. So
Mhm.
that's where that came from.
And, the podcasting space has really been evolving. At Podfest, many people were talking about video. And I have a guest on, John Wardock. He actually gave a talk on YouTube and the evolution of, you know, video and audio. And a lot of people were asking, do I have to be on YouTube? And he's like, it's good to have your audio on YouTube, but you don't necessarily need to have the on camera part. It could be good for brand awareness, like clips and shorts on camera, but don't feel like you need to have your entire podcast edited for YouTube. And I liked that concept because I had also been seeing the same thing. The audio space, it's meant for you to enjoy something while you're keeping your hands busy. You're cleaning something, you're folding laundry, you're listening to that podcast, you're driving your car. And YouTube is not really necessarily meant for that, but I guess if you're putting it on your screen at home, YouTube is winning the household's TV screens right now over traditional media and other streaming services. So say you're listening to YouTube and you're putting it on and there's a visual to it, so occasionally you look up and maybe you like it. But other than that, I'm trying to really wrap my head around the audio video, what's better, what's working, what's not. So I would love your take on the audio podcasting space, and then let's dig into YouTube and your thoughts. So first, audio.
First audio. With respect to John, I disagree.
Mm.
Disagree totally.
Woo!
Uh,
John. And his episode is on this podcast, so you can check it out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, John. Maybe we should have a three-person panel and hash it out. I think I think a lot of it really depends, and this is across the board for
Mhm.
this is the prerequisite for every answer. It all depends on what your goals are.
Mm.
Um, if you if this is kind of like a passion thing, like I want to get my thoughts out into the world. I want
Mhm.
to say my message. I want to say my piece. Sure, no problem. Go ahead. Um, in 2026, if you are starting from scratch and you want some version of um, objective success in this space, which is opportunities, income, and influence. If you want some version of that, it's very difficult to pop on audio starting in 2026. Like most of the people that you'd cite, they're like, "Oh man, well this person has an audio podcast and they're doing great. This person they've probably been doing it for 10 years."
Yeah.
You know, they
Or they're
probably
with one of the big networks.
or they're with one of the big networks, or they have
Mhm.
some major backing behind them, or there was a rock star in another space, which is
So
a
they
whole
brought their influence.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is a whole 'nother conversation. I don't even know if we can get to it today, but we probably need to. But they took all of that and brought it over to audio. If you are Sally from Wisconsin and you're an investment banker and you want to talk about investment banking, and
It's hard.
you can. Like my motto is you're grown, you can do what you want to. It's probably not going to work out just going audio. I'll say this too. The quick answer, quick as a one aside. Most of us think like a a a version of success or validation is to get brand sponsorship on our
Mhm.
podcast. Brands want to be in front of an audience because brands just want your audience and they just want to say, "Hey, buy my stuff" to a lot
Mhm.
of people at
Mhm.
one time. That's generally how the ships goes. If you have a if you have an audio only podcast and maybe you're a rock star and you're getting 1,000 downloads a week or something like that, do you think that's worth a $10,000 brand deal? So it audio is just I that's my opinion on audio.
Okay, okay. All right, so guys, like, if you're listening and you're on this journey from unknown to known and you're trying to figure out, okay, I wanna really expand my brand online, I'm trying to figure out how to put my point of view out there. You've heard it from Gerald. If you're gonna go audio, you may wanna do on camera as well. I also agree, like, if you're gonna go into the audio space, like, you really need to have an on-camera presence, and I feel like what John is saying, it's, like, the same thing where you you can have an audio first podcast, but you really do need to start showing up on camera as a brand awareness versus showing your entire podcast in video form on YouTube. So when he's saying that, I'm also seeing as a new startup on YouTube that my clips, like the shorter versions of my podcast, actually do better than my long form episodes. And I worry and wonder if that is because people see the length and they're like, ooh, I don't really have time for that. Because we're in this quick kind of culture on YouTube with shorts and everything's moving fast. And maybe the audience I have is looking for bite-sized pieces of information versus a long 45-minute conversation. So, have you put your thoughts on that aspect of YouTube and marketing?
Yeah. I have a couple of thoughts on that, a couple of case studies. I'll give you the short version of it. I think if you go long, you'll do really well if you're good. That's not really a determining factor on if somebody will watch your stuff.
Mhm.
And in most cases where people don't watch the long stuff is because it's not good.
But
Um,
we're good.
yeah,
But they don't like to sit through, like, the click-through rate is so low.
no. So the click through rate is thank you for saying that because the click through rate has nothing to do with the actual show. That's the thumbnail
Mm,
and the title.
that's true, that's true.
So one of there's a principle that I teach, just the 70s of podcasting that you absolutely have to have. One of those, I won't go through it now because of time, but one of those is time to value ratio. From the point that you earn the click, that that you've earned their click because it's not given. You have to earn
Mhm,
it. So from the point that you earn their click, from zero to when you actually get to the thing that they talk about, how
mhm.
much time are you actually spending? And the answer to that is probably the reason that they're clicking off. Um, and and Jamie, you told me that I can talk to us like we're friends. So I'm giving you the as honest version as I can.
No, I love
So
that.
if it's a version of, your podcast is about I don't know, my wife don't love me like she used to. Okay. Why don't my wife love me like and I've earned the click.
Well, why
And
don't we focus on yours? I'm pulling yours up,
oh,
okay?
cool. Oh, wow,
So,
okay.
like, hey, got it. Here's your YouTube, and
Yes.
a lot of it is tied I mean, I'm assuming all of it is tied to your podcast.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we're looking at some pretty cool numbers here. 42K views,
Mhm.
18K views. So, do you credit it to your thumbnail and headline? And how does that translate to audio downloads? Does it translate?
I don't even track audio. I
Mm.
I just don't. It exists, but I don't because even me being in this space for as long as I've been, I don't know what to do with that. And if a lot of people are being honest, they don't know what to do with it either. They're like,
They
"Oh
don't.
man, I'm like the top 12% of the world in
Uh-huh.
audio podcasts." Like, and I got like, "Oh, cool. What does that mean?" "Oh, I don't know, but it's cool because I'm ranked
Mhm.
up there." The YouTube analytics are so good, and
They're
it
awesome.
And it really tells you what people are connecting with, what they're not connecting with, the point that they dropped off altogether. You can see the comments, you can see the engagement, and that's probably the biggest indicator if you're connecting or not. Um,
Well, let me pause you here. Like, I'm
uh-huh,
looking at this one. It says Jeff St. James breaking down why women struggle. Is
uh-huh.
this a clip of the podcast? Because I see him like 5 times. Are these
Yeah,
all podcast clips?
that is an example of of exactly what you said. So I knew I had a hot episode when I talked to him because the long version of it got like 42,000 or something like that.
Okay.
Oh,
So if we
so
went to,
no, no,
so
no.
you've got like clips and you've got the full episodes. Is that what it is?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking about doing. So that's
Yeah.
a good
It it 100
discussion point.
it 100% works if you have a good episode because the good a good long episode is full of small moments. And
Mhm.
so if you take those small moments out and
Mhm.
repackage them as their own thing, then potentially those moments will live on their own.
Mhm. So what
Yeah.
I've been doing is taking a clip and airing the clip ahead of the long form on YouTube. W I mean, is that what you're doing, or are you kinda doing it after?
No, I do it after, but,
Mhm.
um, this is my general answer to everything, behind a lot of data and a lot of strategy and stuff like that. After I give all of that stuff, and let's
Mhm.
just say that, you're a paying client of mine I
Mhm.
wanna blow up my podcast, I wanna, be a thing.
I wanna
Uh,
become known.
I wanna become known. What my answer after all of that stuff is, "Well, try it and see."
Yeah, test.
Yeah. That's the only way. You we don't I don't you don't really go off your gut. You don't really go off of like, "Oh, man, I seen Mel Robbins do it, so it's gotta work." There's a lot of
Mhm.
stuff behind that, but you don't really know. You don't know if a thumbnail works. You don't know if a style of thumbnail works until you try it. You don't know if a type of title works if you try it.
Mhm.
You don't know if an intro or hook, or the hook style works until you try it. You don't know if you just introduce your guest or go into the first question for you don't know any of that stuff until you try it. The issue is, ladies and gentlemen,
The
is that
issue.
if you if you only post if you only post one episode a month, then you only got 12 shots at it. And nobody learns anything in 12 anything in this space of YouTube and social media. Like you need reps. So what that does is that I
Well, I
mean,
think you need to clarify because you changed your publishing. You publish how many episodes a month?
I
Like,
don't
long form.
long form. I don't publish any now. And just another conversation. I'm taking a break because
Okay.
that
But
may be a 201
you
question.
you you're gonna come back, and we're gonna probably do this now quarterly is what I'm thinking, but but what I'm saying is
Yes.
you did change things up because I think you were only publishing once a month,
I
like
was
1 long form a month, and then breaking it down.
Yeah, I was publishing once a month a long form full
Mhm.
episode, but I was posting like 10 videos a month.
Yes.
So to me, right now, different people have different things about whatever.
Everyone has their own
Yeah.
strategy.
My my conviction that I will die on, and a lot of other people agree to, is that 90% of the battle is won through the title and thumbnail.
Mhm.
And if you don't have that, you don't have anything else because the number one rule of YouTube is if they don't click, they don't watch.
And if you guys are looking again, you can see the thumbnails that he's using, and that can give you some really good ideas as to what you wanna be doing, okay? Um,
And the cool part is that you can see specifically where it start working. And
mhm,
then when it start working, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna keep doing that over
mhm.
and over and again and just
And
change.
that's the point. Yep. Test it out and see. And as you even look, guys, like some of his videos, this is also something I've told people to do, like walk and talks. Walk and talks do really well.
Yep.
And here when your podcast set up for this, it's very casual. It's like you're in my home with me, you're hanging out. That's also like really something that you can do when you're going to a video format. And it doesn't always have to be like super high end quality, but you need to have the right audio and lighting equipment so that you look good. That's so important. I'm going
For
to stop
sure.
sharing, but anything you want to add on that about helping people with just to pop on screen if they're heading into the YouTube space with their podcasts?
Yeah, and this is gonna be hard, uh,
Mm.
but forgive me. You said that I could talk like this.
I know, but now I'm getting nervous. What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna say that do your absolute best as soon as you can
Mhm.
not look like everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause
That's
when
why I'm
you
purple.
yeah, yeah, when you look like everybody else, when you sound like everybody else, when you have the same
Mhm,
point of view as everybody else, then
mhm.
what's the point of watching you? I'll just watch the other person.
Exactly.
So that would be I mean, honest to God, um, if you got the time, if you got the patience, I pray that you do.
Mhm,
In the first year, don't even really pay attention to analytics. Spend the first year and try to find your voice
mhm.
because the truth
Well, can I get jump in on that? I agree,
please.
but I've been looking at the analytics on YouTube, and that's what's helping me redirect myself. I am seeing that people want my opinion on media criticism, like critiquing YouTube podcast, critiquing media as a whole, bringing in media angles, because that just seems to be what resonates with the audience. And me having the TV background, right?
Yep,
It connects.
yep.
I wouldn't have known that if I didn't test things out and then look at the analytics. Like I started focusing on YouTube in August. So I did like a whole I think it was like 8 episodes where I did YouTube podcast reviews,
Mhm.
and those are doing way better than anything else.
So I have a couple of thoughts.
Oh, here we go. Shit. Sorry, I cursed.
Well, okay, so
Oh.
in your particular case well,
Mhm.
okay, well, let me say this. This is
No, no,
my
no.
over
Say
this
it. Just
no, no,
say it.
no, no, okay, so this is my overarching thing that
Mhm.
I'm saying take a year. I'm saying take a year, but I'm not saying that it will take a year, if that makes sense.
No, it
Okay,
doesn't.
what I mean is that
Take a
man,
year, but don't
spend
take a year.
no, I'm saying spend time to like, okay, so if I say, "Okay, let's spend let's plan out 365 days to build a house."
Uh-huh.
But say it takes 4 months to actually build that house.
Okay.
So I'm saying take the time, put out this time to develop a thing, but the development of that thing may not take that full time.
Mhm.
What usually happens is that if I'm finding my voice, if I'm finding my cadence, if I'm finding the thing that I like to talk about, at some point the audience will tell you, "Hey, I like that. Can you do more of that?"
Yes, I
And
can.
and at that point you either decide I do want to do more of that or I don't want to do more of that. Because
Mhm.
one of the hardest things that I don't think this conversation happens enough is that one of the worst things that could happen to you is that if you go viral off a moment that you don't want,
Yes.
like
Uh-huh.
if I don't know, I want to talk about I want to talk about being a good mother. I don't know, whatever. I want to talk about being a good mother, but some one off episode I talked about I, I I talked about Trump and politics. And then that went crazy because that's a hot topic. And now it's like, okay, well, this got views, but I don't want to be the Trump person. I don't want to be the political person, but I guess since this get views,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do, and now you're stuck in a niche, in a genre that you don't even like. And
Or
I
have the background to support.
or have the background to support, and eventually
Mhm.
you get exposed, and like now you're embarrassed, and then you go hide. The reason that I say this is because it happens all the
All the time.
time.
Mhm. All the time.
So it's just not to that point of okay. I'm getting response, I'm getting views, let me talk about that thing.
Mhm.
Once you hit that point, you still gotta decide, do I wanna talk about that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, completely. Like,
Yeah,
in my case, I love talking about it. It's a lot of work. It's a
yeah,
lot of
but it's
but
but
it worked, and the whole thing I did was I told myself, "Okay, I'm gonna do 8. I'm just gonna do 8 in this format to see if it resonates, and then I'm gonna focus on my unknown to known with interviewing people, and then I'm gonna come back to this think like a producer and just share my thoughts and see how that goes,
yeah.
and see which works best for me and for my audience after I've tested these 3 formats, interview style and everything." I love the interview
See,
style,
love interview.
and I enjoy having really good conversations. Like, this has been really energetic, and I absolutely love it, but we're really good in person anyway.
Yeah.
So there's that. We have that chemistry where we can really just have fun and be ourselves, which hopefully translates on camera and brings us the people that we want in our community, right? And I enjoy that.
Yeah.
However, I also realized that producing interview content is a lot more work than me just being a solo creator, and you have to pick and choose what works best for you. And so, booking guests, lining them up, editing, it can take a lot of time. And if you don't have that time to line up guests and do that, it may not be for you if you're listening and thinking, I want to do guest topics. Now, for me, it works. I just don't know if I want to be doing it weekly, posting it weekly. It's a
One
lot more than biweekly.
one thing that I could add to that,
Yeah.
and maybe not even add, just kind of as an adjacent, is that say you're a hard-willed Freddie and like, "Man, I'm gonna do an interview because I saw Mel Robbins do it, so I'm gonna
Mhm.
do it because I wanna be the next Mel Robbins." If that's you and nobody can talk you out of it, okay, fine. If that's you, keep it bare bones.
Mhm.
I mean bare bones, and, instead of working on, like, the production element of it
Mhm.
and diving all the way into that because that's a whole big rabbit hole, work on being a good interviewer.
Yes.
And work on, finding your voice, telling your story,
Mhm.
knowing how to
Mhm.
weave in and out of topics, knowing how to go deep instead of wide, all of these different things, because you can spend $20,000 and I'm not just saying random things. You can spend $20,000 and you can be terrible on camera because all you did was work on the aesthetic. But once you open your mouth and the light went red, you'd have no idea what to do.
And that's where I come in.
That's
And
where
I
you
talk
come
about
in.
this on my Think Like a Producer podcast because so many people don't really think through what they're gonna talk about. Like, they book the guest and they don't do the research. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she just launched a podcast with Lemonada,
Oh,
and
good
I
for
was
her.
listening to what, huh?
I say good for her.
I know. I'm excited. It's good. Like, so far, I mean, she only has like 1 episode and she had some like presenter episodes, but she's starting and it's really good. She's doing the research, but she sounds like a journalist. And
Mm.
that's what you really need in some instances is to come to the table with some insight and facts and stats and things that really help drive home unique questions. And I think it's really important to think like a journalist when you are producing out your content, thinking of, the who, what, where, when, and why, but also, what, have I seen online that can bring this in? If you're talking about
That's good.
divorce, maybe having a stat about how many people get divorced. If you're having a legal show and you're asking questions about the law, like, in my opinion, you should also have some recent cases to bring to light because you could then pull trendy images for your thumbnail. If you wind up having a legal show and you're bringing up Elon Musk because of a lawsuit, you can then put Elon on your thumbnail and really drive home a good headline with that point. It's really good to weave in things. And now I'm going to put Elon between us on my thumbnail. Should he podcast will be the conversation.
So we'll see how that performs.
How that one plays out.
That's good. No,
I think
that
I'm gonna do it for fun.
Do it. Yeah. The beauty about YouTube is you can A/B
Mhm.
test thumbnails. So
Yeah, and
it will
headlines.
yeah, it will 100% tell you what's working and what's not. So, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't I don't wanna be labeled once again, everybody has their own song and dance, and everybody does it their own way. There's a million ways to win
Mhm.
in this space. Um, but the ones who are winning have consistent threads, and you do yourself a favor by getting with people like Jamie, who knows and understand those consistent threads, and helping you get there faster. Not saying that it'll be fast, but it'll be faster. So,
Mhm.
and I don't want to plug you or your stuff, but it's just true. You
Oh, thank you, but,
people need help.
if people want a podcast, they should be going to you, so,
Oh, thank
there's
you.
that too. And everyone should be joining your community, so guys, if you are listening still as you're with us, make sure to check out the links in the description. Gerald, you're gonna be sending me links to things,
I am.
and you will be coming back so we can talk more about all your teas. We only got through, what, 2 teas?
We got through
We do
half the
1
tea.
2? 1 half the teas?
It's actually a lowercase L. It was just
We're
the
at the we'll do the other half of the tease the next time
there we
he's
go.
on the show. No, I mean, I really do enjoy the interview concept. Like, think about this. It is fun.
Yeah.
And it's important to have. So if you are listening and you want to do interview format, just watch a few people in your niche, see what they're doing, come up with ideas that can make yourself more unique and stand out on YouTube and online. Have visual hooks, even though it's a podcast and you're recording with your camera. You want to still have visual hooks for YouTube. And I think it's just it's a game you're playing. So just get ready to start testing.
Well,
Any last minute thoughts you want to add?
yeah, I just wanna add this, and this is, I just wanna add this, um, and I regret saying it because
Ooh.
I I won't be able to go deeper into it, but
Maybe you
I
can. Just keep going. Go ahead. What do you got?
okay, so number one thing for sure is that if they don't click, they don't watch. You have to know that. Past that, once they click, we talked a little bit about it, the time to value ratio. How long does it take to get to the thing that they clicked for? Um, there's a there's a question in podcast land. What should be your first hire? Um, and I have a thought. My thought would be, um, if it's not an editor, let's just put that on the side. If it's not an
Mhm.
editor, I would legitimately pay somebody to make me a visual hook for each one of my shows
Mm.
because that is the thing that builds up the intrigue. That is the thing that keeps people watching. So, the best example in the world, if you're not familiar with him, is Diary of a CEO with Steve Bartlett.
Mhm.
These things are movie trailers legitimately, and
He's
they
got a 40-person crew.
he's got a 40-person crew, and it shows. You know what I mean?
Like, it's legit.
Yeah.
Legit.
You would do yourself a favor by looking at it. There's 4 key things that they do, in their visual hooks that anybody could implement. Um, I don't got time to go into it, but that's ladies and gentlemen, that's called a cliffhanger. So
That's called next episode.
yeah. But these 4 things, they have proven and they've tested over and over and over and over again that it'll keep people watching. The reason that I know is specifically if you go watch all of my shows that does really well, they all have that visual hook.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, I have the ability and the talent to do it. So, praise God for that or praise whoever you worship on that other side. But so I have the ability to do that. But if you don't have the ability to do that, I honest to God, I would pay somebody $50 to $75 or $100 an episode because that moment right there, if you look at the analytics, the first 60 seconds is when the steep drop off happens. It's really the first 30 seconds. If you
Mhm.
can keep them in that moment, Jamie, this
I
statement.
know, but how do you do it,
Now
Gerald?
listen,
How do
listen,
you
listen,
do
listen.
it?
This statement right here that I'm about to make is
Ooh.
worth the whole time that
Oh my
we've been
gosh.
on.
Yay! Let's hear it.
If you can keep people watching your first 60 seconds, they'll watch a whole hour.
Boom.
if they don't watch that first 60 seconds, your video can be 8 minutes, it can be 10 minutes, it don't matter, they're not gonna make it.
Mm.
That that first 30, 45 minute, that minute is the most crucial time that ever existed in our thing. So it's worth, if you don't got it or if you can't put it together, whatever the case, it's worth paying somebody to do it because it's literally, and this is the end of my soapbox. It's literally the difference between a video that gets 50 views and 50,000.
Mhm. Oh, I know, and, like, right now, I'm dealing so I this week, as of what are we at? January 23rd, we're recording this. Reached out to my editor and said, "Hey," I edit all my own stuff, right? So I go to her if I have a client that needs it or if I want something. And my whole thing to her was, "I think I want a 15-second open." That's just now that I've had interviews with people, I can start showcasing them, do something, like, visually appealing off the top, but I don't wanna do it, because
Yep.
it is a lot of work,
It's a
and you
lot.
do need to hire someone. Sometimes you need to pay the money, but for each episode, I'm like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, how do you justify the cost?" And I think, some people see it as, "Well, I'm not making money off my podcast. I don't wanna pay for Riverside. I don't wanna pay for an editor. I don't wanna." You need to be looking at it as a strategy for if you're podcasting and it's not just to put your point of view out there, it's like you're doing it for a business. You need to think of it as your marketing. You need
Yep.
to think of it as a marketing budget. And you need to start figuring out a way to sell from your podcast, sell from your YouTube channel. If at first you don't have sponsors, you sell what you got. Gerald has his pathways, podcasting pathways group. You know, I have digital downloads. I have my visibility program. You can go to my website on camready.com. Gerald, what's your website?
Podcastingpathways.com.
And you can go to those websites and you can communicate with us through downloads, through courses, through community, and that's part of our call to action so you can make money to support your efforts online. Other ways to do it is like finding a sponsor. I know a guy who is I mean, he is amazing in the fact that he has a lot of sponsors. Now, he got those sponsors because he's so niche and he's very specific to his audience. And if you are too, you can do the same. If you have a podcast that's focusing on, say, I'll just say like a specific artist where every single episode you're focusing on Taylor Swift. I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to eventually get some sponsors. You really need to just be very niche focused, and that can help you either make money, attract an audience, and potentially sell from podcasting. Would you any other things that you would add to help people like justify the costs? Because sometimes they don't see the reason to do it.
Um, Unfortunately, I can say a lot of things. Unfortunately, that is the unteachable lesson.
Mm.
You don't know until you start making money, and then once you start making money, like, those expenses are like, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, no problem,
Mhm.
no problem." Though, maybe one of the things that I could equate it to is that most of the people that I I come across, I work with, they're professionals in their said field. Maybe they're high performing professional, maybe they're project manager, maybe they're C-suite executive, maybe they're real whatever they are. Maybe they're a doctor, maybe they're a dentist. I have these podcast clients. I want to shout them out. It's it's a podcast called Never Seen It. It's a podcast of four black dentists in Atlanta under 30 and giving their perspective. It's amazing. So
I
it's
love
pretty cool.
it.
Uh, so um, so professionals in their specific field, once you reach a level of proficiency, then the things that amateurs would say, man, that costs way too much. You just look at it as a tool. Like, oh yeah, well, okay, of course I'm gonna get that because it's gonna save me 50 hours this week. And my 50 hours are worth way more than this $200 that it costs. So
Mhm.
that's the closest thing that I could equate it to, but unfortunately, it's the unteachable lesson that because we're all climbing the hill of like, "Oh, man, if I can just get monetized, then my life will change."
Mhm.
But it comes with the efficiencies help you get there faster.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's a unteachable lesson. I gotta say this before we go though, because
Yes.
you've been so wonderful, and I'm pretty sure your audience is gonna be PO'd at me. They're like, "Man, you said there's 4 things. What are the 4 things? Just tell me the 4 things of the."
Yes. You gotta do it.
Okay, I'll go I'll go the fast version of it.
Are you gonna go fast? I'll
Yes!
time you. I'm gonna time you.
As y'all can tell, I have a podcast, so I talk all the time. Okay, but this is the fast version
Go.
of it for real. Okay, in 45 seconds, these are 30 to 45 seconds. These are the 4 types of clips that you should pull and put them together, and put them at the beginning of your show before it starts. Find a clip where your guest is giving a lesson.
Hmm.
So if I don't know, we're talking about upping your podcast or something like that, and then say you pull a clip of me saying, um, uh, and once I figured this out about the thumbnail, I realized that all my views went up and stuff like that, and then I was off and roll. A lesson, something that they'll value. After that, um, go into a controversial, high emotion statement. So if we're doing this episode, I pull something like when I was saying, "I'm sorry, James, I disagree," and you were like, "No, no, no, don't you talk about James," or something like that.
Like
Whatever the
reality show, yeah.
yeah, whatever that interaction was.
Mhm.
Um, and and then oh, I'm sorry, the first one is a hook. You just take a hook, and if you don't understand hooks, it's like social media.
Mhm.
Whatever your thing is, take a hook. So first is a hook, second is a lesson, the third is the high emotion, and then the fourth is the cliffhanger. So say the last clip was I said something like, and then once I started doing this, I made it
Boom.
I made him yeah. Then don't don't let me answer. Cut it off before that. Boom.
And
Then
is this like you're saying for the open?
yes, this is the
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
Every single time. That is the
Mhm.
formula. That
And
is
I would love to have that done, but it's a lot of work.
it is. Could I tell you I spend a day alone just editing my opener? I spend a day editing my podcast and just spend a day editing but once again, it's the difference between 50 views and 50,000.
Mhm. And that's what people need to realize too. Like if you're trying to go this alone, and I talk to people on this my YouTube channel and on this podcast as solo creators. Like if you're a solo creator, this is what can work. This is what you should be doing. And so you're hearing him, he's taking a lot of time to really focus on that open, and his numbers on YouTube, they're showing that it works. The thumbnails and the opens. And that's why I wanted to have Gerald on today, because on this journey from unknown to known, you need to make some sacrifices and you need to make some changes to what you're thinking, and you need to make some investments. And it's important to do that if you really want your point of view to get put out there and you want to start becoming known within your niche, within your town, within your industry. Do you have any last thoughts? And then we'll definitely be having you come back. So
Yeah, my last thought is, man, I apologize. I didn't want yeah,
what?
I hope that I wasn't too harsh, but, um, I at the same time, I apologize, I don't apologize. Number 1, you told me that we could talk like this.
I
And
know,
then
and we can. And, it just shows that you're really polite and nice and sweet, and that's why you weren't at the cool kids table.
that's what I can't say. I was in the choir. The number 2 thing is that, um, if you I'm talking to your audience. If
Yeah.
you have a circle of people, if you have classes and courses and coaches and all of this stuff, and they're telling you that you're doing everything right and that you don't need to change and people need to adjust to you and all of the platitudes and all of these things to make you feel good. It is the equivalent of a hurricane coming to your house and you just closing the blinds. It may make you feel better, but it's not really preparing you for the storm. You need somebody who can get in your stuff and say, "Hey, this thumbnail isn't working. Hey, why'd you choose this title? Hey, do you think your audience will really connect with that?" "Hey, you went really, really long on that intro." You know?
Mhm.
You need a person, you need people in your community who
Yes.
who can drive you better. It won't be fast, but that's the fastest way to get to where you wanna go.
Mhm. And if you're like me, your husband just criticizes it. He was like, "Honey, your voice sounds like an anchor voice. You need to change it." I was like, "Thanks." "Oh, that intro was really long. You need to cut it down." I was like, "Hmm, thank you." So I get that criticism and I love it. I'm like, "Give it to me," because if you don't get the feedback,
Yeah,
you don't know. And as a TV producer, I would always do long intros like, "Here's the stats." And like the open you were saying, we would have an open with all like the suspense of what you're gonna get from the show, and then, boom, some music, and then the anchor's on camera, and it's a long setup to the show, and I was trying to do that for my own, and it was so much work,
yeah,
and then my husband was like, "It's too long. Just get to the guest." I was like, "Thanks." So now I'm trying to cut it back.
yeah.
It's all testing, guys. And Gerald, I've really loved this. I'll make sure to isolate some of our clips, and I'll run my thumbnails by you, I guess, before I post and try to collaborate with you.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
so again, remember to check the description for links to everything we have going on. Thank you so much for being here.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you. And make sure you go and check out his YouTube channel and also check out my podcast, Think Like a Producer. All right, guys, see ya.